they cannot leave the 2020 draft without what, Chris?
I think there's two positions that jump out to me when I look at the Seattle Seahawks. First off, like cornerback position jumps out to me a little bit. Just like we saw Aaron Rodgers on a big third and down in the late in games, they couldn't cover man to man and get off the field. That's kind of been their MO. They don't have a guy that they can play man to man and stop other teams' really good receivers. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say pass rusher once again. Yes, Jadeveon Clowney's there. Ziggy Ansah not there. Jadeveon Clowney not there. Excuse me. That's what I meant to say. And this is a Seattle scheme, as you know, which I'm a little critical of sometimes because I think it's a little, just there's not enough variety in the scheme itself. It relies on that pass rush. And yes, they drafted an L.J. Collier last year in the first round from TCU, and he had some injury issues, but they still need more pass rushers. There's no doubt about that. Now, it doesn't have to be in the first round, but I look at that as a position still to make Seattle's defense successful right now. They got some good defensive linemen. I don't know if they got one guy that you would be worried about coming off the edge. So I'm going to go with pass rusher.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney's been a free agent for over a month now. There's no indication he's going to re-sign with the Seahawks. And look, if you got to bring it to a head before the draft if you're the Seahawks. We're either going to get this guy back or we're not. And there was some reporting recently from Mike Garafolo of NFL Network that it's slim and none, the chances of Clowney going back to Seattle. So pass rush becomes your top need. And look, the tradition in Seattle has been trade down, trade down, trade down. And when you look at a surprising number of needs for a playoff team and a perennial contender,
right.
You should trade down and get more picks. When you're paying $35 million to your starting quarterback, you need as many guys as you can, Chris, who are making the bargain basement rookie minimum salaries. So get more picks, get more lottery tickets that you can scratch off and hope you find a winner. And the one thing we know about the Seahawks, John Schneider can find obscure guys in the later rounds of the draft to become players, and Pete Carroll can coach them up into good players. And I think that's what they need to do more of. As long as they're paying Russell Wilson at more than any team is paying any quarterback, this is going to be part of their formula every year. Trade down, get more picks, address your needs, and hope you can take some guys we've never heard of and turn them into household names.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they're special that way. Seattle's like New England. When they trade down, you just go, uh-oh. That just means they're going to get more value signings, more good players. So, I'm with you there, Mike. They're smart and they know what to do. There's some good pass rushers to be had later on in the draft. They might not be great all-around players yet, but good pass rushers nonetheless.
All right, we got to get through the rest of this division pretty quickly.
I know we do.
The 49ers
Let's go.
Cannot leave the draft without what?
All right. Well, I'm a little worried about Joe Staley, right, at left tackle. There's the talk about him maybe, retiring. You don't know how much longer he's going to last. So that's in the conversation. But I think the biggest thing to me, Mike, is this. Cornerback. Richard Sherman, we know he's still good, but he's getting up there in years. And then when you really look at the rest of the position, you just go, who else is there? Hey, E.J. Mosley, yeah, nice player, kind of messed up that play in the Super Bowl that cost them. Akila Witherspoon's been up and down. They got no consistency there out of that position. So I look as corner as being a definite need for this 49ers team, which, of course, has a very good roster.
Hey, I'm not looking to pick a fight gratuitously with my good friend Richard Sherman, but the 49ers recently brought back Jason Verrett, who had injury issues last year. When Verrett was first signed last year, there was a palpable buzz that if Verrett worked out, Sherman was gone last year from the 49ers. Now, he rebounded and had a great season, but I feel like they're looking for a reason to move on. That's just my feeling. They're looking for a reason to move on from him, and whether you do it through draft picks, whether you do it through guys you sign in free agency, don't be stunned if it happens. And again, this isn't gratuitous. This is what I've heard consistently over the course of the last year. And, Chris, maybe this is the year they find a corner some way, somehow, that ends up supplanting Richard Sherman.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're in a good spot. They're not like desperate, like, oh, we got to have a guy in here right now where our defense isn't going to – we're not going to be able to succeed. No. They're still going to be really good, whoever it is. But, yeah, they'll have some flexibility if they do draft a corner in the first round or in the second round. And so, something like that. I don't think they have a second-round pick right now, but later on. he's not going to have to be thrown into the fire and have to start right away, day one, because I think there is enough talent there, at least to make them feel good. But they got to start thinking about the future a little bit. And I just think they can upgrade the overall talent of the cornerback room altogether.
They picked up an extra first-round pick with the DeForest Buckner trade, but they don't have a second-round pick due to last year's D Ford trade. They lost a 3 and a 4 for the Emmanuel Sanders trade, and he's gone already. He's with the Saints via free agency. And there's talk that John Lynch, the GM of the team, wants to move down and replenish some of those middle-round picks, and they have the ability to move down with picks number 13 and 31. All right, the Rams can't leave the draft without what, Chris?
Man, the Rams got some holes, okay? They definitely do. I mean, they're another team. You got to think about tackle a little bit with Jason Whitworth. They might have some young guys they trust. I think that the big one that jumps out to me, though, is linebacker, Mike. That's where I look at them right now and just go, who the hell are their linebackers? I mean, when you really look at it, I don't think just, I had to sit here and go, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. Oh, okay, yeah, oh, yeah. Man, they traded for Kenny Young last year. When they made that trade with Marcus Peters and got him at linebacker. So they need, Clay Matthews being gone, Dante Fowler being gone, and now Corey Littleton gone in free agency to the Oakland Raiders. They need a stand-up middle linebacker more than anything, but certainly wouldn't be hurt by somebody on the edge either. But mostly middle linebacker is their biggest need.
No first-round pick due to the Jalen Ramsey trade, a guy they still haven't signed to a new contract. And, it's funny, when you think about the options that the Jaguars had last year to trade Ramsey, the Eagles, the Ravens, I think, were mentioned. The Jaguars picked the right team because it's starting to feel like the Rams are in the process of falling apart, which is going to drive those picks up higher that the Jaguars are getting. It's going to be a real challenge for the Rams to hold it together. No Brandon Cooks, no Todd Gurley, and it's all on Jared Goff's shoulders. All right, very quickly, the Cardinals can't leave the draft without what?
Well, I think the biggest thing I'm going to say here is corner again. They need depth at the corner position. They need players. I mean, this was the second worst pass defense in football, okay? And again, Patrick Peterson, it wasn't great last year when he came back from his suspension. And it's year 10 if I remember correctly. So again, play is going to fall down there, and I think there's some guys on their roster at that position where I just go, I'm not so sure about that guy. He's unproven. I know they traded for Robert Alford, but he's towards the downslope of his end of his career too. I think they signed him as a free agent. So I'm going cornerback with the Arizona Cardinals.
So wait, you're saying you're surprised that a guy who was suspended 6 games for PED use and for masking PED use wasn't the same guy when he came back without the PEDs? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you know me, Mike. That pisses me off. There's no other way to say it. Yes, I don't like it. Yes.
I know how to stick the fork in your ribs. All right, we got to stick a fork in this segment. I agree with you. They need help at cornerback.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.